relatively small game.
Smooches for Travis.
Okay, when last we left our party, Barrett was having his new mimic hat slowly chew on his head as you guys flew away on your new flying rug of smothering.
Bad touch, Mark.
Headed to the east towards Rose homeland. The rug is going to make the travel, which would normally take a couple months, down to just a week and a half or so.
So we figured out the logistics of getting everyone involved.
Yeah, because we were having the problem where Narga's 300 pounds.
Yeah, you guys are still going to have to work that out between each other of how you actually want to go about this.
Also, Narga is terrified of that rug.
Yep.
It's like the rolled up newspaper.
So that's where we're at, is Narga's refusing to get on there, and you've got a weight issue, potentially.
I say we tie off Narga and let him hang below as we drag him through the skies.
That doesn't fix the weight issue.
It's a little swing.
The rug could lift him.
And then we try to... How much lift does the rug get, or are we just gonna drag across the ground at high speed?
So a lot of that depends on how many people are on the rug. Now you've got a couple of large characters with you, namely Spider and Narga, that the weight is definitely an issue.
I mean, I really only just need to deliver a message. It shouldn't take more than, a day maybe once we're in meeting. So you don't all have to go. We could do the dreaded split up and meet up somewhere else thing that I'm sure will go just without a hitch, the little swimming lake.
You can trust Narga. Narga won't get up to anything bad.
No, certainly not.
No.
Tim volunteers to watch Narga while you run your errand.
You volunteer to watch him?
Yeah, he is the spirit of mature responsibility, and he really feels like he's up to the task.
I mean, you guys are BFFs, so it would be fitting, I suppose. You can have your little buddy adventure.
He wouldn't have volunteered to babysit just anyone for you.
Fair.
Narga is not happy being asked to babysit. That's a little too harsh.
It's okay, Puppy. Play along.
Well, I'm clearly dressed to impress if you need an escort. As I stroke my headdress.
I could go alone to meet you. I really could, and then just find you guys later. So I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do.
You insult the headdress. You don't want me to go.
Okay, I'll take the carpet myself then, and I'll go. And is there a town or something nearby?
Ouch.
I mean, no one's saying shit. So.
We were snickering at the innuendo like immature little babies that we are.
I can go with you on the carpet if you need an escort.
If you want, doesn't matter to me.
Or if things get shady, you probably shouldn't go solo.
Okay.
Is Spider gonna let his rug out of his sight?
That's what I'm wondering. But Spider's in charge.
Or is he gonna stay here with me and Narga?
That could be for either half of the team, though. All right.
He's making the leader be the decision maker.
Okay, well, your great leader is gonna flip a coin. Odds, he goes with you guys, and evens, he comes on the carpet.
Oh man.
Odds. I know. I'm doing it on purpose.
Narga was not aware that coins had numbers. That's interesting.
I didn't actually know if a D2 would work, although I suppose with this engine it would. Anyway, there you go. Okay. So, where would you three like to meet up then? So Because we're just going to go deliver this message and come back. Does
Out of
anyone
character,
actually know this area?
Out of character, how far away is is Sherwood?
Sherwood is about a 4-day to 6-day journey, depending on what you run into along the way.
So, assuming nothing bad happens with Rocho, we should be able to meet us there, right?
Yes, however, yes. Just thinking of some things that have happened. Yes, she could meet you in Sherwood, and she has already let you know that they are beginning to evacuate that town.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can meet in Sherwood.
We go back to Port City where we all met. Go back to the beginning. You always need to go back to the beginning.
I like
Good
this.
idea, Narga. All right, let's do that.
Okay. Splitting the party! Woo!
Always.
Scooby-Doo.
All right.
What could go
Overland
wrong?
travel without a druid.
We couldn't all fit on the carpet, and nobody had ideas to get us there faster. So I couldn't think of anything else. I don't have message. You didn't have a way to do that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're definitely getting lost.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right. So to make sure I'm on the same page as you guys, Ro and Barrett are heading off on the carpet to Needy, and Spider, Sim, and Narga are going to be attempting to find their way back to Sherwood.
Seems like.
Okay. Yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong.
No, nothing.
Not at all.
We're giving the two people with good survival to go off on some, and then we have to navigate a jungle.
I honestly kind of want to send Barrett with them just as some survival skills, but
Whatever you need.
Tim's gonna assure you that that's just really not necessary.
Tim has definitely proven himself reliable. Just not with
Naruto
very
will keep everybody
straightforward
safe.
You know what? I'm going to consider the three of you the trifecta, and I'm just going to hope that you can muddle through and not all die. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I believe more in Spider's survivability, but moral compass is up there.
I feel
So,
like she takes each of us aside and gives us the exact identical speech about how she trusts only us, or only the one person, to take care of the others. But it's exactly the same for each of us separately.
that's definitely what I do. I'll go to each of you, pull you aside, like, hey, I just want you to know, I need you to take care of the other two. I really trust you. Can you go away and send Spider over? Okay, Spider, same thing. All right.
Just clarification, the speech, Narga is left with the impression that he's in charge.
I've given all of you the impression that you're in charge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Narga to.
I'm really looking forward to it because I won't be there, so I can just sit here and enjoy the show. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will start with Ro and Barrett.
Okay.
The first day and a half is pretty uneventful. You could press forward to speed things up, but you will take a point of exhaustion each if you choose to do that and not rest.
I would want to get there as soon as possible, so I would be willing to do that.
Okay, so both of you take a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Around the night of the second day, you would be able to see as you're coasting over that there does seem to be someone's campfire down below. Don't know if you want to stop or press on further.
Can I see anything about it from up here?
It's a little hard to see much details. You can definitely tell it is a campfire. It looks like someone has actually made camp in the forest, but the canopy is obscuring like how many they are or what they might be up to.
Is it a strange location for someone to set up camp? Like, is that a part of the forest they wouldn't go to, or?
It's pretty deep in the forest. It's definitely not just general travelers? Because this isn't along one of the trade routes that you're aware of.
I would want to know personally, but we abandoned 3 of the 5 people in this group to get there as fast as possible. So unless Barrett has something persuasive and for a reason he would want to check it out, I'm going to keep going. Barrett?
You seem pretty focused on the mission. I feel like this would just be a distraction.
All right, if you choose to press on, you're going to take a second point of exhaustion. You don't have to go to that camp. You could camp somewhere else. But if you choose to press on through the night, it'll be a second point of exhaustion.
We're pressing on through the night and camp the next day if we need to.
Okay. All right, so as you fly over, they don't see, whoever is down there doesn't seem to notice you. There's no call, because why in the world would they be looking up? But through the third day, you do, ahead of you, start seeing possibly few miles ahead of you, you see some large flying creatures. From the current distance, you can't quite tell what they are, but there's definitely something over there.
Could we slow down and drop a little bit lower towards the canopy to maybe be less obvious that we're barreling towards these things?
You certainly can.
Okay, we'll do that until we're a little closer. Maybe I can see what they are, or Barrett can.
All right, what is your... Could I have a perception check from both of you as you're getting closer and closer?
Okay.
Whoa, I'm not paying attention. Thank God Barrett.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Okay. Barrett, these look like some sort of chimera. They seem to have multiple heads, large wings, and kind of like a serpentine or maybe poisonous tail.
Okay. I immediately tell Rosho to like pull up.
Pull up? Like
On the-
higher into the air?
Higher into the air, kind of like veer off. Do they seem aggressive at all, or are they just kind of passive?
With that perception, it looks like they're hunting.
Okay,
You
yeah, we're
are a
definitely
ranger. You are in, I believe, forest is your terrain.
Yes.
So you could tell pretty clearly with that whatever these chimera are, they are actively hunting right now.
I do want, out of character, to remind everybody with 2 points of exhaustion, both of your speed is halved. So be aware
On the
about
carpet?
running away. Well, no, the carpet wouldn't be.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
if you,
But like if we landed and tried to book it.
yeah.
Okay. Do I know what they would be hunting?
You would know that in this area they're probably hunting something that they'd be able to eat. You are not from Akira, so you wouldn't know what specifically are here, but you have seen when you were in Sherwood various dinosaurs, so they might be hunting something like that.
Okay.
If we could get high enough or create a wide enough berth, then to try and avoid the chimera entirely, if that's what Barrett would suggest doing, fine by that. I doubt we could outfly them on the carpet, which would be my concern, but with 2 points of exhaustion, we're probably still better off staying on the carpet than trying to hide on it.
Definitely staying on the carpet. I think I tell Rosho if they're hunting, like we probably look just as tasty as well.
Yeah, all right.
If we can try to veer off and like stay below the brush line of the trees, maybe.
So
Okay.
instead of pulling up, maybe
Yes,
one of the
yeah.
ones we can.
Yes.
Okay.
And kind of hide.
All right, go ahead and give a stealth check. I do not have the monster manual on me. Of course I don't. Why would I be that prepared?
Well then. Wait, that's not.
You are not flying discreetly at all.
Oh,
Meow.
Hey, Becca, just to let you know, if you press the I tab on the chat window, you should have the entire monster manual there.
Oh, that. Thank you. So Barrett rolled a 20, correct?
When I re-rolled correctly, I got a 19, but I don't know how you want to do that.
Rosha is making like zoomy sounds as we fly below the canopy.
Okay. All right. That would be +2 for them.
Meow.
Wow.
Okay, so one of them at least is not paying any attention to you. However, the second one does notice you as you're kind of darting in between the branches and is getting closer.
Well then. Since this is your area of expertise, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look up a spell real quick. So do I notice then that it sees me? It kind of like turns towards. Okay, I'm gonna ready an ensnaring strike with my bow.
Okay.
And if it tries to move towards us, I'm gonna try to release it on the one that's noticed.
Okay. It is going to take about half a minute before it catches up to you, because you did start veering off. So we'll shift back to Narga, Spider, and Sim temporarily. How do you want to go about your beginning trek back to Sherwood?
Well, Narga is in charge, so he gets everybody together. And then says, does anybody know how to get back to Sherwood?
That way. And Sim points. Whatever the way he was facing when he was facing Narga, I'm just pointing that way.
Okay, Narga's
But
just gonna go that way. Because he...
Like, complete surety, that is the way to go.
Narga, like... Alright, you are the navigator. You seem to know where we're going. And we'll start headed whatever random way Sim pointed.
Okay, so it looks like Spider does let you know, he's not sure that's the way. Go ahead and roll survival.
How do you know? I could be going the right way.
Spider, you definitely know that is not quite the right way. You could. It looks like Sim was pointed north, but you know that you need to go a little bit more northwest to hit the trail that'll get through the mountains.
Trail? We don't need no stinking trail.
We go this way until we get to my friend the pine tree. Not the one with the tall pointy top, but the one that's rounded and slightly bent. Then we hang a right.
You talk to trees now?
Of course I do. You never know when there's going to be a dryad hiding in those skirts. You know what I mean? And he just like elbows you.
Narga does not know what ketchup means.
You've never met a dryad? Oh, Spider, we have to take a detour. We need to find some dryads.
What are these dryads, and can you eat one?
I mean,
Technically.
that, really depends on how adventurous she's feeling, I suppose.
Defeats them.
All right. Well, and then he'll turn to Spider and go, well, apparently you know it even better than Sim. Please.
Whoa. What's this better business? I said that way. I just wanted to turn later. He wants to take the easy way because he's boring. That's not better. Boring is boring.
Still, in order to begin one journey, one needs to start walking. So Narga will go ahead and start moving out.
North.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, for your group, towards the end of the night, do you choose to set up camp? You're not going to reach
As
the
far as
Dryad's Grove that day. Probably Sim knows that if you're headed towards the Dryad's Grove, you'd hit it to the end of the second day.
Narga's not in a hurry.
Well, do I actually know where a Dryad's Grove is? Because I was just making that shit up.
Oh, well, go ahead and give me a history check. You might have heard from other Fae that had come through back to...
Apparently you do.
Yeah, you know there is actually a Druid's Grove to the north. It is
Of
right
course
next
you would.
to a lovely pond.
Is there a bench tree?
Let's go with yes. There is actually a somewhat bent conifer.
So not only
Where?
dryads with the lake, there's possible nymphs too there. So
Sim's idea of a party.
yeah.
And he's gonna lord this up over the troll and just be like, "See, I told you, huh? We find a Dryad for you too."
Narga is going to try to find the best place to set up camp because he's really not in a hurry. So
Okay.
Sim's gonna go knock on some trees and invite them to come out to play.
So, are we talking about the first night or end of the second day?
Oh, if we're on the second day, Narga has fasted in preparation for the hastiness of a dryad.
Yes, please.
Sim will completely brief the tallest, most sturdy-looking Dryad about Narga and his proclivities.
His appetite.
Yes.
He wants to eat us. Is that the human euphemism?
Well, I mean, puppies like to chew on sticks. They don't necessarily eat the whole stick. Maybe he'll just, chew on the right parts if you navigate him carefully.
Nothing about anything you're saying is okay. None of it. He'll just gnaw lightly.
Yeah, he'll just nibble.
See, even that would have been okay, but no, he's like, chew.
Chew.
There's a certain depth of teeth to go into at that point.
Okay.
That's what the campaign's going to be.
I said we'd find the most sturdy,
Definitely
adventurous
would say.
Dryad of the bunch and,
Okay.
try and talk her into it.
So I will say, upon getting close to the Dryad's Grove, about a couple hours before you reach there, you do see slime trails headed in that direction. Looks like something had moved through and it's just like eating as it goes. The dried sections actually sparkle almost like glass.
Narga's gonna actually take a sample and do that and actually lick it.
It's very crystalline and sand-like with a little bit of weird mucus flavor.
Sim's going to grab Narga's paw. after he licks it. He's going to lick a little bit off of Narga's paw also to give it a try.
Very
And then he's going to offer Narga's paw to the troll to see if the spider would like to try some.
okay. I will allow any of you to do a nature check if you are proficient in nature.
I don't
Pretty
think I'm
sure.
proficient. I'm not proficient, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure that I am not proficient, but I do have
I am not proficient. I would
not
Okay.
a good day.
All right, you guys aren't quite sure, but it does taste kind of like weirdly sweet and mucusy with sand bits.
Narga hopes the dryads do not taste like this. This was not appetizing.
Definitely not how Dryads taste, my precious little puppy. Don't worry.
Okay.
I think we just broke Shayna.
It's not fine. It's
Stefan will attest that I am good at that.
I would know.
Okay, so the trio continues closer. The slime trails are definitely seem to be headed in the same direction as the Dryad's Grove. Ro and Barrett, you have this chimera that is getting closer.
Before Barrett casts Entangle, actually, I was going to try and cast Fog Cloud in front of where it's going, so that it flies right into it. So that would be my thing, because it wouldn't be able to move, right? It's on point within range.
Could you read Fog Cloud for me?
You create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration or until a wind of moderate or greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, disperses it.
Okay. You can certainly cast that once it's within range. You do know that because of how fast it's flying, it's going to go into your fog cloud and it's going to come out the other side pretty quickly, though.
Okay. I mean, the idea was kind of just that he hits the fog in time and Barrett can cast his entanglement to try and make that more effective. I don't know, hold it in place.
I will definitely say Barrett can have advantage because of you assisting with the fog cloud.
Perfect. Okay. Sounds good. And it's my range for fog cloud is 120 feet. I don't know what your range for your entanglement is.
I did not see a range on the thing.
No?
It would be the range of your bow and arrow.
Which is probably around the same thing, but...
Hold on.
Just managed to get cat hair in my mouth.
Says 150.
150? Oh, perfect. So I'll cast it as soon as I can, and Barrett can entangle.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. Wow.
Wow. Okay,
Thank you
so
for advantage. All right.
Oh my god. This is gonna go really well. So when we die, should I start rolling up a new?
Okay, so unfortunately your initial arrow goes wide. I'm pretty sure it's a bonus action that you cast and it's the next time it hits, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still active on your bow. It hasn't gone off, but your initial attack goes wide. Okay.
Okay.
So for you guys, we're going to have to roll a lovely initiative check.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of what my next character is gonna be. I shouldn't have gotten attached to Ro. That was a mistake. I spent too much time thinking up her background and not enough. Are you prepared to get at by a chimera?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. So.
Wait, advantage you get to do twice, right? Or
So you have those two rolls that showed up the 3 and the 7.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Dual. Oh, that's fine. If you don't have a on the roll, we generally just take that first number.
Okay, so
Our advantage.
So Ro is actually first because I rolled a 1 for the chimera.
It's really perfect that this is happening on like the first character I've ever played that has no range. I'm a bear. That was my build. This is gonna be awful.
So you use the carpet to fly above the creature and then
turn into a bear and drop on it. Yeah.
You know, take a page out of the other monk's book.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that's assuming a lot about my general dexterity and athletic abilities.
Just muscle through.
Yeah. How close are the chimera now? Or have we caught the attention of the second one yet?
No, you have not.
Okay. Let's go just the first one.
Yeah, just the first one, and it is 130 feet away, ish, right at the edge.
In front of us, the side, kind of behind.
Kind of
Like-
behind and off to one side. Because you did start veering away, so it's coming towards you, still pretty far behind you. Let's see.
You know, I could cast Entangle too. Just try it. I don't have to hit with a success. I just need, it would need to make a strength saving throw, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just entangle.
Strength saving throw. Okay.
Yes. Which is against mine. Oh, it's gonna get that, isn't it?
8.
It doesn't! I have a 14!
Okay. So,
We may not die.
oh no. So it gets entangled. Kind of. It's actually
Speed drops to 0, immediately falls.
right, and I'm trying to think about how high up you guys would be. It'd be probably 200 to 300 feet up.
Yes!
So yeah,
So it's a good thing I didn't jump. I don't have feather fall on this character.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Holy shit!
I feel like
What?
everyone inside.
You no.
I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, you rolled 300 d6, not 30
There we
d6.
Yes.
Oh my
There we
God, I
go.
love it.
It takes 91 points of damage as it slams into the ground.
Why couldn't you let me have that 1,063, huh?
It impacts and melts in the core of the.
It immediately becomes part of the mulch on the forest floor.
You actually created a pit in the ground so deep the dreamer crawls out and consumes you for the audacity of interrupting his sleep.
Yeah, at least in this case the dreamer lives. That's...
That didn't actually kill the chimera if it's only 91.
Yeah, it's
No.
Oh my
you
God.
can actually hear the sounds of its pain as it's trying to escape the entanglement. Barrett, you are up next.
I want to feel bad, but
You're
no.
so
I mean,
mean. You're so
If he's
mean.
already entangled, can I use entangled shot again?
You
I mean,
can if you want.
you could also just shoot it. If you want to double entangle it, would he have to break free of both separately?
Yeah, technically, but also he doesn't have to recast it. He still has it cast, so the moment
Yeah,
he
he'll
hits
reshoot.
anyways, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, rub salt in the wound.
yeah.
Go for it.
Wow.
You're rolling like me. What's happening here?
This.
That's your second
I just-
3. The other one was a 3 too.
I just think maybe this hat is like a brain slug from like Futurama, where I'm just like slowly.
One of the pseudopods do come out and kind of like licks your eyeball as you attempt to make your shot.
I can clearly see better now.
You can clearly see its tongue in your eyeball.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so it is now its turn, and it is going to try to break free of the entanglement. It's so you guys are speeding
Thank God.
far ahead as you can just hear the pained cries of this chimera on the ground.
I mean, I want to feel bad,
But I
but I'm
don't.
alive, so I don't.
Okay. So,
Poor thing.
Rowan Barrett, you are
Free to go.
free to go. You are flying away. We will get out of initiative for that.
Barrett, you might want to wipe some of that slime off your eye so you can actually see when you do the thing where you shoot.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Maybe. I know your forte is close combat too, which, again, not really great party planning, but, you know.
I have to wait till he's done preening. It's not up to me at this point.
All right. Holy shit, he didn't die.
Yeah, you survived. That was
Yay.
great. That was an excellent use of that spell.
You know, I just did the math in my head, and that both things with the 30d6 and the 300d6 was actually super low rolls for both of those things.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
the
a lot
average.
of ones, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Now that you said that, I'm like,
Wow.
no.
Yeah, there's the average for the 30d6 would be like 105,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
Luck wasn't even on our side and we survived.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, because that means we're totally dying in about 5 minutes. But alright.
Okay, so Sim, Spider, and Narga. As you are entering the grove, you can actually see
A wounded chimera. No.
Plummeting from the sky, the chimera is on the ground in front of you.
So you actually see some very odd-looking large snails with multicolored shells and multiple eye stalks. Looks like they are just moving slowly forward, but they are actively eating that tree that Sim had described, and the dryads are screaming.
These snail things, these are dryads, right? This is what we came to eat, right?
Sim's gonna tap like furiously on Puppy, like literally his hands going as fast as he can move it, like that blur on my screen. Like puppy. Those are eating your treats. One of the snail things is bad for eating his treats.
No one steals Narga's food.
Does he set the grove on fire?
We
kill
very
the
much might.
Oh
Kill
god.
the escargot just...
What's bad is Scott knows casting magic at flail snails. Horrible idea. Narga. We'll go ahead and the nearest one uses his bonus action to cast Hex and then Eldritch Blast him.
Okay.
Great. This is just what I wanted.
All right. So you do have a disadvantage on your attack roll.
I do?
I'm reading the stat block right now.
Okay.
For the shell. Yeah, the snail has advantage on saving throws against spells, and any creature making a spell attack against the snail has disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay.
If the snail succeeds or a spell attack misses, an additional effect might occur.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure a 5 misses. Or, sorry, a 6 misses. So.
Yep. All right. So I get to roll a d6.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to give it disadvantage on, I don't know, strength checks? Sure, we'll go strength checks.
All right. So with that one, your spell goes wide. Nothing else seems to happen.
Okay. That's literally my turn, so.
All right. Does Sim or Spider want to do anything during this basically surprise round? All right.
Sim will unshoulder his bow.
Sim has a bow.
All right.
A beautiful horned bow.
19 definitely hits.
Of course he is.
Okay. Roll damage. Alright. 17 points of piercing and fire damage. There are 3 snails, by the way, so Spider fires at one. It does seem to, like, dry up some of the snail's mucus, and it did seem effective. Sim, you take your bow off your back, and what would you like to do?
I would like to shoot my longbow at a snail.
Okay, go ahead.
You aim for the stucky eyes.
Oh, okay. I just missed something. How much of that damage was fire damage?
5.
From 5. Okay. So it doesn't quite seem to do as much damage as you had hoped, Spider. But Yes, you may add sneak attack damage.
Yay.
You're sneaky.
Snick snacky.
Yeah, okay. And Sim, that definitely hits. Are you firing at the same snail or a different snail?
The same one. Clearly not as effectively. And immediately afterwards, he will look at his bow as though betrayed. Even though he hit, he will look at the bow like there's something defective, and he'll shake it.
Okay.
There's something.
Go ahead and roll initiative checks for me now. Okay, so
Oh, I forgot to select my token if you're using the tracker. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Are you using the tracker?
No, I'm using something on my screen.
Okay.
All right, Spider, Sim, and then Narga, and our 3 charming flail snails.
Let's see what does a flail snail look like?
Yeah, they're all gonna go after you.
Oh my god, they're adorable. Oh, they're so cute. Look
A
at
flail snail?
Those are adorable.
Yep, a flail snail.
I'm
Yeah, I'm super excited by this fight. I am also terrified because I'm a primary caster, Sim's a primary caster, and they reflect spells back at people.
This is going to be beautiful. I'm very excited. I'm going to start now.
Oh my god, I love how they're mainly mounts with a chair strapped to their shell.
Where did you see it as a mount? Oh,
Do you not see that?
I want one.
All right, Spider, you are up first.
Good, it's cute.
It's adorable.
The dryads seem to be hanging back. You can actually see a couple of the dryads seem to have mucus on their arms, and sections of like their bark skin has been ripped away.
Well, that's not very nice.
Dryads are delicious. Not unless one of your companions gets closer at this point. Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. You're going to have to leave the fire damage out because they seem to be completely immune to that part. Okay. Same one you hit before, correct? Okay. Oh, Sim, you're up next.
Sim will draw forth his next arrow and look at the bow and be like, "You get one more try at this," and then he's gonna try and shoot it again.
Okay. That misses.
At this point, Sim throws the bow.
Okay, Narga.
Okay,
Like,
does Narga recognize the fact that they seem to ignore the fire damage?
Roll an insight or an investigation check or perception.
I'm going to go with perception because I think we've all seen what Narga's investigation checks are like.
Yeah, for a dog, he's not that great at it.
Or I guess insight, actually.
It made the shell really sparkly.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and run up to it. Or first, as a bonus action, I'm going to try that Eldritch Blast thing again.
Okay.
I'm going to spend the 2 sorcery points to cast it as a bonus action.
Okay. You still had disadvantage, but roll it.
I know there's not a lot I can do.
I know.
I'm just gonna roll the firebolt one because, but with disadvantage. Yeah, nope.
Nope, that misses. So
And then I'm going to run up and I am going to cast Inflict Wounds at a 2nd level to the one that's already injured.
Okay. Your Eldritch
Reflects
Blast?
back at me.
Yeah, it reflects back at you, and you take the damage.
Yeah, I take 1d10.
Yep.
Sim's gonna yell, "Puppy!"
10 damage to me.
All right, who's in charge here? You're all babysitting each other.
Nope. Spider was in charge this time. He wanted to
Okay.
come to.
Shift responsibility real fast.
Inflict wounds to the 2nd level because Narga has not learned his lesson.
No. Why don't you befriend the flail snake?
Is that a save
It's a
on the
spell.
snail?
No, it's a spell attack.
Okay. Go ahead.
But it's the same bonus as Firebolt, so I'm just gonna roll it with disadvantage.
Okay.
16 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Thank God. And this is empowered, by the way. So that's. That is. And we are re-rolling that 4 and that 1.
Okay.
So that's 25 points of necrotic damage to this injured flail snail.
59.
Right
Okay.
on one of the eye stalks, so I think that's enough to at least get rid of that thing.
Yep, so that first snail starts making a keening sound before Narga's inflict wounds just causes all of its eye stalks to just like burn away as it keens and then falls.
Jeez.
Okay, it is now the first flail snail's turn.
Watch out, they cast Eldritch Blast at you.
These are very magical snails. Very powerful.
I don't think either of us would know what Eldritch Blast is.
All right, so the first one is going to do scintillating shell. Its shell suddenly emits dazzling colored light until
Ooh,
the end
pretty.
of its next turn. It sheds bright light in a 30-foot radius, dim light for an additional 30 feet, and I need everybody to roll a wisdom saving throw or be stunned until the light ends, and
Wow.
all attacks against it will have disadvantage.
Yeah, nope.
Okay, so both Sim and Narga are stunned. Spider is perfectly fine,
Yay, spider.
but all attacks against this particular snail have disadvantage.
Pretty lights.
And it is going to move 10 feet closer to Narga. Yep. The second one will turn and move 10 feet closer to Narga, which you had run up to one of the other ones to touch it, right?
Mhm.
So the second one's going to reach you, and it is going to do its 5 flail tentacle attacks against you.
Yep.
Okay, that's 25 to hit.
Jeez.
Miss. Only they have advantage because I'm stunned. So
Alright.
hit.
God.
Miss. Hit. Hit. Hit.
So 4 hits.
4 hits. You have to- so I'm at 13. If they are able to drop me in 2 hits, I'm dead.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Sim is going to be very contrite if Puppy dies.
I was
I'll buy a new
saying,
puppy for a while.
remember how in vampires we were like, oh no, this was all we're planning, and this is where that what might happen thing. Can we rewind real quick and do not this?
No.
So I do believe that you had purchased some things from the.
It doesn't matter. There's no re-rolls here. Like, there's
No.
nothing to re-roll.
No, I'm going to say this. Shayna, you had from the Random Ass Ravnica where we were getting money for the kids. I do believe you still had some left over that you hadn't used. So, if you can think of a creative way to assist with this, I will allow it.
Well, it was that was re-rolling, wasn't it?
It was with advantage because Narga's stunned.
Yeah. I would have chosen to give him advantage against that initial stun attack.
If Sim weren't stunned, he could have killed Narga, but Sim is.
But Sim is also, and if these flails hit, he'd be dead before you could heal him, right?
So, yeah, you could give advantage to either Narga or Sim from that initial stun.
Do you want to give Narga the advantage?
Yes, for that initial stun.
Okay. Give me a second. Nope.
I say it's all a bad trip. It's all a bad trip. It's a really bad dream.
We're still in the hag's clutches, like on day one.
It's all a bad dream. We wake up and we're still in the town.
Just let it go. We're level 4. It's not.
I know. But I'm sad. Naruto was so fun.
Okay, I'm now at 3.
Okay. You were so lucky. Okay, so that was the second flail snail's turn.
Oh, each one was only a d6?
So, would you like me to add plus 12 to that? Are you really wanting to kill Narga?
But, so
I rolled shit.
No, what I'm asking, I want this to be fair. So it is 1d6 plus what?
3.
3. Narga is unconscious, and he has 2 death. He's failed 2 death saves because he got critted on the last attack.
Okay.
But he is still alive.
Okay.
Yay!
So Narga is unconscious. Spider, you are up next.
Look at cat. Cat. Yeah.
That definitely hits. When you roll your damage, double the dice. And Narga, while he is stunned, he is right there.
Technically, I am in melee, even though I'm not conscious.
You get sneak attack.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Did you do some shopping at Amigos?
Okay.
Put them on your head. It'll be just like your hat.
Oh, I totally should.
Alright. So, Spider's arrow flaming, even though the fire doesn't seem to do anything about it, 2 of the flail snail's eye stalks are ripped off from Spider's attack. And I'm guessing he was targeting the one that was after Narga, not the one that you'd had disadvantage against. So, Sim, you are up next.
Stunned.
Yep, stunned.
Puppy! Oh, I'm
And
still so I
now
can't.
it's Narga's turn.
Death save. Now I'm dead. Unless somebody wants to give me advantage with their extra life thing.
How many of those do I have left?
Technically, you have 3 left.
Again! I'll use all of them on this.
What is that? How does that work?
That was. Are you kidding me?
Every
Oh
single
my
one
God.
of them.
Do you want me to use it again?
Yes! Yes. Oh,
Oh shit!
Whoa.
holy shit. Oh, we just lost all power.
You did.
We just lost.
It's still on, I think, though, because the.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
The dice
Thank
want
God
Narga
for-
dead.
Thank God for UPS.
Uh,
No, everything. This whole thing's null and void because power went out, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You want to use your last one?
All of them. All of them.
we
Okay.
can't.
We,
Yeah.
I can't
He's
see
alive.
anything.
You used your
Oh,
last one.
thank God.
He's still-
Worth it.
I can't-
That much. Worth it.
I can't even see roll 20. I don't know how we're connected right now.
Well, because the monitors aren't plugged into our power supply, the emergency ones, but the actual PCs are.
And our Wi-Fi is plugged
And our
into
Wi-Fi is. So we can't see anything, but we can hear.
everything.
So, I mean,
So we can talk it out.
yeah.
Someone roll for us.
I'm glad you have a beer. I can't. Oh, no.
Okay.
Right then. Puerto Rico.
Yay, Puerto Rico. Okay, so
It's interesting because I can just see the razor symbol from Stefan's headset, like moving back and forth.
Really?
Wait, really?
Dark, you can't. Oh, wait, hold up. Hold on, my camera. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna get a flashlight. Hold on.
okay. All right, so this flail snail, after seeing one of its companions just get decimated, is going to attempt to run, which means it dashes. So it moves 20 feet away from you.
Hey, we got power back.
Yay! The light fades as it's running away, so you are no longer stunned at this point. The other flail snail that
UPS for the win.
took a shit ton of damage from Spider withdraws inside of its shell and starts making the beginnings of a keening sound. Just a very start, but it's not full on keening yet. Oh, okay.
His puppy is dying.
Spider, you are up next. So your shots were sticking into this squishy mollusky parts. You think that the shell itself that probably has a higher AC than the squishy parts. All right. The one you've already damaged, I take it. That misses. Okay. Sim, you are up next.
Well, I'm not stunned anymore.
Nope, you are not stunned anymore.
Puppy! And Sim will like race over and like grab him by the lapels and shake him. And upon getting no response, he will raise a hand and say "puppy" and slap him by casting Healing Word by using the percussion to slap on his face.
Okay.
Because I don't know that you're dead or not, and I'm just gonna, burn the spell and try.
Okay. I'm not dead, so.
What was that?
Every
Because
penny.
Shayna burned all of her rerolls.
Worth every penny. Everything for Narga. Worth it. I would trade Rosho for Narga.
Okay, I'm at 6.
Yay!
Now keep him alive, please. No more just like
Later on top of him, like playing drums on his face.
All right, so that was your bonus action.
Oh, that's a bonus action? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
you-
The chimera wouldn't be the problem in this
I
encounter.
guess that I will step back and call Puppy, or, help Puppy to his feet.
So I would like to say I am now looking at the correct character sheet, and I made that way more dramatic than it needed to be. I had more hit points than I thought.
Convenient.
Oh, of
Sim
course.
saved Puppy's life, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
No
and what?
Sounds like Narga would be over dramatic.
Go on without
I
me.
am going to, or Nadia is going to stand up. Thank Sim. I felt the life, or Narga felt the life escape him like 5 times, but something kept pulling me back. Truly, Narga is blessed. And then we'll cast Cure Wounds on himself. Empowered using my last sorcery point at 2nd level.
Yes, it is a blessing to have me as a best friend.
Thank you so much. You're gonna take all the credit.
I'm sorry, is this the first time you've met Sim?
Rerolling that 2.
His personality trait is a superiority complex. I don't know why you would not see this as a thing.
It's okay. I know it's real world.
Sim and I have a lot in common, except I'm a little less, open than he is about genders.
Okay, Narga heals himself 18 HP, so.
All right. The flail snail that is missing 2 of its eye stalks continues to attempt to run, so it moves another 20 feet away from you. The one in its shell has not used its scintillating shell attack yet, so is going to attempt that. I need wisdom saving throws from everyone.
Yay!
Stop.
Wow!
Killing me. Oh, for you. If you TPK, I'm.
All these rolls tonight are beautiful.
Oh, man.
If the 3 of you die, we're
Good
restarting.
thing Narga healed himself.
Thank God. Jeez,
And Sim's invincible, so it's all good.
How is Sim invincible?
Because he's better at you than everything.
He's
Well,
better
that should have been the
than
flail snail's
everyone at
turn,
everything.
right? So we all get to make our saves again, right?
Got this classic. Let's split up and look for clues.
Yeah, you all actually, at the end of its... You're all stunned, so it's back to the flail snail's turn. The one that's running away moves 20 feet away. The one that is hiding its shell uses its bonus action to pop up and will use its tentacles against Sim, since he's right there.
AC 15, bring it.
Okay.
Yeah, because of course.
It doesn't have an advantage. It's because
Okay.
he's no longer stunned.
It's at the end of its turn that you're no
Oh,
longer stunned.
okay.
1, 2, 3. Four. All right. 4d6 plus 26 points of damage before it attempts to run. It moves 10 feet away from you.
Sim decides it's a good time to take a nap.
He's unconscious.
All right. Spider, you are up.
Sleepy time.
How unconscious are you? Just out of curiosity, there, son.
That would have put me at -1 if
Okay.
we.
Okay. So, but in the last attack that actually got you unconscious. I just want to make sure of that.
Yep.
All right. You do get to add your sneak attack because Sem and Narga are both. Well, actually, they're 10 feet away at this point. Never
Yeah,
mind.
it's running away.
Below my last. Okay. Sim, may I have a death saving throw?
You may.
And I'm out of magic good luck stuff, so thank you.
Please,
All right.
Sim doesn't need it.
Thank
He's
you.
taking a nap.
Yep.
Yeah, Sim is actually just napping.
He's
He is not dying. He's napping.
All right, Narga.
Firing Narga with my narcolepsy.
Job and cure wounds.
Oh my god, you're just gonna sit there slapping each other awake.
Yeah, like, backhand
Just
slap,
deal with
cure wounds.
Ketchup is
I can't
ketchup.
actually change any of this,
Ketchup is
so
literal
13
ketchup
HP to Sim.
He does that way better than you.
That's my
He's-
last
he's
second level
harder.
spell.
Oh god.
Seriously thought the Chimera against the two on the carpet were going to be the problem.
Yeah, so did I.
It still could be.
Until you knocked it out of the air.
We really will see these things.
Okay.
I will say, because I didn't get to Rampage before, if the dead flail snail's still around, Narga will like move to it and start eating it, whatever's there.
Okay.
Raw escargot. Is that sushi?
Yeah, the other two are still fleeing. So one is 60 feet away, the other's 30 feet at this point. There is that dead flail snail. You can go ahead and have the mollusky goodness.
Dryads are good to eat. You are right, Sam.
Oh, no.
They're
Always right.
bastards with their magic, though.
Okay, so the flail snails are going to continue to flee. The dryads are going to come out of their trees and greet you. They are actually going to use Sim's title, though, as son of the warden. And thank you for saving their trees from the horrible snails.
All in a day's work, lady. All in a day's work. But the real heroes here, I think we know, are Puppy and our good friend Spider.
At
And
which
let me-
point, I think both of us will go, oh, shit, where'd he go?
And let me tell you, they are a prime delicacy to be had. You can see the tongue on that.
Onarga's not sharing.
Narga earned his snack.
Okay. So we'll get back to you guys in a moment. Ro and Barrett.
Uh-huh. Hi. Hi.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
I know, I'm like, we took a nap on the magic carpet, and I was like, oh god, they're all dead. I'm waking up with PTSD for them. Alright. What's up?
Okay, so end of the third day, you guys finally choose to make camp.
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of precautions or watch rotation do you choose to make it through the night in this jungle?
I'll offer to take first watch, but I know you're itching to use. You have a perimeter alarm system.
Yes. I'm going to set an alarm with a string and a bell, and I'm going to have it produce a audible sound if it's triggered, so that way Rosho can hear it as well.
Okay.
Alright, and I'll just offer to set up watch. I'm assuming we could eat rations without starting a fire or anything to try and mitigate.
Yeah.
Lessen the chance of drawing attention just as much as possible. We'll be real quiet.
Get like a minimal sleep to get away from this hunting grounds.
Well, I know the specific area, but you know the forest well enough that we can try and make this as uneventful as possible.
Okay, so Barrett, as you lay down to sleep, do you do anything with your hat? Such a conversation.
anything to stand?
I'm gonna grab some sticks and brush and make a makeshift little kind of doggy bed, and I'm gonna put the hat next to me
Okay.
as I sleep.
Or do you feed it at all your meals now?
Yeah, and then I give him tear off pieces of my rations and give him a little bit, and kind of pet him to sleep.
Okay. What is Rose passive perception?
I think it's 14.
14. Okay. You do see at some point Barrett's hat goes towards his pack, and its little pseudopod like reaches in and starts munching on rations while Barrett is sleeping.
Is it eating them like really quickly, or is it just like kind of a little bit at a time?
It over the course of a couple hours, it probably eats what for Barrett would be a couple days worth of rations.
What?
And it seems to have more feathers after this process.
It's growing. Okay.
As if he didn't get enough nourishment from my brain.
I want to stop it, but when Barrett wakes up, I will inform him, hey, your hat's eating your rations. If you make sure it doesn't eat mine, we can share it until we get where we need to go, unless you want to try and stop it, but it's your hat, so. It's your hat that's eating your rations, and that's a sentence you've now made me say. And also green feathers, if you didn't notice. It's very beautiful.
I'm gonna scold him.
Gorgeous plumage on your hungry hat.
I scold him, and I want to, like, I guess, flick one of his little tentacle appendages, like I would booping the snoot of a dog, and then I'm gonna pick him up and put him back on my head.
While you stand by.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me an animal handling check to see how well all of that goes down.
Don't piss off your hat and then put it on your head.
Oh, come on.
The real TPK starts right here. Is it?
As the hat mimic kills everybody.
Yeah. That
No.
It does make a kind of like yelp sound when you flick one of its appendages and settles down on your head.
He's gotta learn.
During Barrett's watch, Barrett, you do know that in forests and jungle there are frequently large snakes and various things like that. So during your watch, you could have advantage on your perception check to see if you can detect anything that might be nearby.
Okay. Could I, like, I guess, climb a tree and kind of, yeah, to get better vantage point?
Certainly. I will need an athletics check first.
Ah.
All right. Physical effort. No.
Do any of that. If she's saying that you would have an advantage already, you don't have to justify.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So still the...
By all means, I'm just letting
yeah, if you don't want to climb that natural 20 to 20 for your 25, you can see that there are some, they're kind of mimicking the color of the wood that they are wrapped around in the trees. And their snake heads are kind of bluish in color and have ridges of like frills down each side of their skull. And you do see that there does seem to be like a nest of these snakes, and they are actively watching your little campsite.
Okay, can I, like, pick up a rock and, like, toss it at Rosho to kind of get her attention?
me up.
Yeah.
Just nudge me. Okay.
No.
I get hit with a rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on?
So I'll like hand gestures, tell her to look around, and then I kind of mimic my hat's like feathers of. I make very horrible like snake things, but then I like point to my hat to show that it has like feathers.
At first shot with the hand gestures, I think you're horribly racist. And my wizard, my reptilian ancestry, and then you gesture to the feathers, and I think you're just really bad. Pretty impressive. Then I'll look around and see if I can. I now no longer
Total racist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I woke you up just for that.
All right. So Barrett is going to be able to kind of point the snakes out. And Ro, you can do a nature or survival check since you're from Akira to identify these creatures. Okay, you know that these are Jakuli. They are a species of snake native here. They tend to launch themselves like a javelin from the trees, and they are very aggressive. However, adventurers frequently harvest the skin of Jakuli to use them to make boots of striding and springing and cloaks of invisibility because they have a natural camouflage ability. I can't hear you.
Try again.
Now we got you.
That worked out? Okay.
Yeah.
Would I know maybe how many would be in a nest? Would I be able to tell, like, is this a small one? Do I know that they're generally in larger colonies?
They tend to be 15-foot long snakes. And, yeah, they're somewhat big. And they do tend to, while you see probably 3 or 4 here, they don't tend to congregate like a nest normally. So there's probably 3 or 4 different individuals that just happen to have been in the same area at the same time.
Okay. What time would it be? Like, how far into would I have gotten a short rest?
Yes, you would have gotten a short rest.
What does it take to fix exhaustion? I forget.
A long rest.
Long rest.
It would take a long rest. Okay.
You need a long rest, and you need water and food.
Okay. Did the water food get the long rest part? So, well, I mean, he did. I didn't. Do they look like they're, since you said they're kind of aggressive, do they look like they're ready to pounce on us, or do they look like they're just kind of keeping an eye on us?
It looks like at least a couple of them are getting ready to strike, probably as soon as they think they can.
Okay. Well, as quietly as I can, real quick, tell Barrett, like, hey, and I can point to if it's just like the 2 of them. Those 2 at least are about to attack. Get ready. And
now being racist, I tell Rosho, I'm like, just talk to him.
I just straight up ignore you. Just not even gonna acknowledge you. How far away are they?
So they're up in the canopy. They are about 30 feet away, roughly.
Okay.
Clarification, this is happening in the middle of the night, right? So, like, Narga far away is going, snakes? I hate snakes.
We're keeping an eye on each other with really weird dreams. That's what this is. My half hour was really not very restful because I'm envisioning them being attacked by psychedelic snails. I couldn't use something like Druidcraft to create a sort of barrier out of the lower branches of the canopy, right? Is that too much to do with Druidcraft?
You could kind of make somewhat of a screen, but they're going to be able to go straight through it.
Yeah, I figured since they're snakes.
I will say, you can get pretty creative with Druidcraft because you can make harmless sensory effects, including scent. So the scent of something more appealing to them, prey-wise, further off, maybe. You could do that, yes.
Or
So
since us smell like poison.
Well, could I like what's the predator or like that would mainly kill, or would Barrett know that, like having what is it, natural explorer or like for forest?
With Ro kind of telling you a little bit about the snakes, sure, you can go ahead and make a nature check to see if you would know maybe what sort of predator would hunt these.
Otherwise, I would be going with making us
Nope.
smell as unappetizing as possible.
Yep. Nope, you're not quite sure what would normally eat these.
I would try and make us smell, smell like poison.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong, Ro is going to kind of make it smell like her people's saliva.
Yeah, or the
Yeah, you were basing them off of Komodo dragons, correct?
yeah, so they would have the sepsis.
Right, so the smell of kind of like bacteria-laden saliva surrounds you, Barrett.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will say the Chikuli, like their black tongues flicker a few times and they kind of like lunge back and they start moving away through the trees.
That's just my breath. Don't worry about it.
I say, oh, so you can talk to them.
Really debating reaching over to smack you, like the back of your head, that little like tap, but you're wearing the mimic.
Yeah, watch it. Watch
I haven't rolled well with anything charisma yet, so I'm not going to, but I'll give you stink eye.
I kind of smugly like pet the headdress. Good boy.
All right. And I would say, you know, I guess if the two or as many of them have gone away, I'll say, you know, just wake me up if they come back, or if you see anything else, and go back to sleep. Kind of just breathe really heavily in the area, and
Okay. Well, can Rosho try to sleep while I take watch or control over the carpet, or does she have to actively? Do you have to actively like set up camp?
Oh, are you saying you want to switch off like land, the other person takes control, take back off?
Yeah.
she's attuned to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will allow it. However, you are going to have to make potentially dex saves as you go, if for possibly rolling off the carpet.
Yeah, I'd rather certainly not deal with that right now.
Okay.
I need some sleep, because you fixed your exhaustion. She's still exhausted.
Okay. Fair enough.
Works for me.
Okay, so back to Sim, Spider, and Narga. You have a bunch of dryads and some nymphs that are starting to poke their heads out of the water.
Okay. Narga doesn't care, but I just read the flail snail entry because technically I didn't kill the flail snail. I removed all of its eye stalks, and so technically Narga started eating it while it was still alive. It takes 10 minutes for these things to die, so yeah.
Hence
It's-
the cleaning.
It's fresh food.
Either way, Sim was already talking the Narga and Spider up as the heroes of the show to the Dryads and the Nymphs, because they have never been with Dryads or Nymphs, and he's really trying to be a good wingman here, and you know, he's selling it good.
Narga has no idea what's going on. He will notice at some point that Spider left to go hunt the other one, but then go back to, because these things are large, right? So it takes him a while to eat.
Did Spider go after the other ones?
If he did, I missed it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes.
Terribly sorry about that. Okay. In that case, Spider. You can go ahead and... How do you want to go about hunting them? Because they are trying to flee. One of them is fairly injured. There was 3 total. You've already killed... Well, Narga finished killing one as he started eating it alive.
Jesus.
Okay, so I'm not going to have you roll for it because they are really slow. They only move 10 feet. Their movement is 10 feet, so they can only move 20 feet. and you can easily stay outside of their eye stalk damage.
And
So you,
both of them use scintillating shell already, so
correct. So they're not going to be able to do that again. So you do knock out the rest of their eye stalks off. They retreat into their shelves and start making that keening sound. And since you are a thief, go ahead and make an intelligence check, or if you have some sort of jeweler's proficiency, you could do an intelligence check with your proficiency bonus added on against the shells themselves while these snails are keening their death. 15 is enough. You know that each one of these shells is worth about 5,000 GP. They're heavy, but if you could manage getting them back to Cherwood, you could probably make a good amount of money off of them. You would also know with that 15 intelligence check that with the proper tools and knowledge, that they actually make some pretty amazing shields. So yeah, Sim and Narga, Spider joins you as he's dragging these two snails, making this god-awful keening sound back to the grove you're at.
But they're large, so even Narga's hunger, like he brings them back, and he's probably done with his snail, but he has the had to remove the button, had to pop the button on his pants, gut right now, and looks at the snails, and it's just no more. Narga is hungry. You two can have those two dryads.
Sim's gonna lean into the most giggly of nymphs and point at Spider and say, "I think he might like screamers. I don't know." He's still trying to get his two friends some action with the local dragons tonight.
I will say Narga is actually propped up against the shell of the one he killed, lounging a little bit, trying to stretch out as much as possible.
So the dryads themselves don't really keep animals, but they can point you into the direction of some herd-like animals that are in the area.
If you sweet talk them and pay for that knowledge.
So, to kind of, I think, just either charisma saves or wisdom saves from both Spider and Narga as the dryads and the nymphs start dancing and using their...
Do you want a wisdom save or a charisma save? Because they are wildly different things for Narga.
Wisdom save.
Of course.
Yep. Spider's getting some.
17. Narga is too tired to play. Narga has full belly.
Yep. All right. So, unless there is something that Travis would say that no, Spider is not interested at all. If you are game for what Sim is planning, you have all the attention of all the dryads and the nymphs in the area. Okay.
And this is why Narga is the only one to have dream of weird snake. He's the only one who gets sleep tonight.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
Once the revelry dies down early in the morning, Spider, a pot comes flying at your head and kind of hits your shoulder. When you pick it up, it has written on the bottom, I think it was Narga that wrote it. The pot of the 20 gold that came flying out of the port.
Ah.
So there's the message that Narga had written on the bottom, which included your name. And there is a note inside that says return the gold.
What gold?
I'm trying to remember this pot. This seems like a me joke, but I can't remember what this is from.
It was the gold that came flying out of the hag's portal, right?
Yep. Sim attempted to warn Spider not to take the gold, but it was 20 gold just lying there in a pot. Ignores it. Very well. Noted. Okay. Is there something anybody would like to do next before you continue on your journeys?
Narga, like, see, I imagine somebody would explain that the shell is important. So he's going to strap one of them to his back. He's like most large, medium races. He gets to double his carry. So.
Mm-hmm.
He does look kind of ridiculous. Weird snail hyena thing now.
Spider, you can do a survival check to see if you can track down the animals that the dryads were indicating.
Dang.
You are able to find them. They do seem to be.
They gave very thorough directions, apparently.
Yep. They seem to be a species of wild horse. You are going to have to do an animal handling check to attempt to calm them down enough to. Oh no.
Ouch.
They run away.
Horsies, come back to Narga.
You certainly can try.
Narga will help.
Ay, amigo.
Narga is helping.
All right. All right. The stealth is enough to sneak up on them, and despite the fact that they would be freaking terrified of Narga, Narga helping you and kind of quietly saying, "Okay, you can say anything you want regarding this, Scott," but basically Narga tries to coach you.
Narga has worked with such beasts before, mainly eating them, but Narga does understand how this works. You have to be calm, do not approach from the rear, that's how you get kicked in the face. Again, Narga is speaking from experience here. And you just kind of stroke its neck. Narga wouldn't do it claws.
Maybe she's into the claws.
It's a horse.
Horses have genders. You're not here. Shush.
We're just like fucking everything that moves in this game.
Okay, so you do manage to calm one of the wild horses down. It is not trained by any means, but it is going to be. You are able to get some rope around its neck and snout, and you can lead it back to your camp.
See, me and Spider brought emergency rations.
The mobile snack.
Oh, goody. And Sim is apparently eating strawberries. They were brought to him by a nymph.
There is nuts and berries available for consumption in the morning.
Twigs.
Okay. Before I have you guys roll your survival checks, Spider, go ahead and roll a intelligence sleight of hand check for me to see how well you knot and tie the shells onto this horse's back, just in case you have to run for some reason.
There is no way Narga's riding this horse. I don't think the horse would let Narga ride this horse. And Narga will carry one of the shells. It's perfectly easy for him. He has a high enough strength and is literally carrying nothing else.
Okay. Noted on that check. Go ahead and roll survival checks for each party. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh boy.
Wow.
Oh my god.
We are solely relying on you, my dude.
It's like the brownies. That way, to the lake.
Survival?
Survival, yeah. So just the d20 plus. Well then, we are what would be called screwed.
I literally had +5.
That, really? Okay. Well, the good news is we'll all die together. Just
Yeah,
not
we're
together,
like
together.
the highest we have right now is an 11. So
We're doing
Okay.
really well. This has just been a very productive session.
All right. So, Ro and Barrett, you do lose a couple days travel as you get a little bit lost. Same with Spider, Sim, and Narga, which I'm going to have to figure out what each of you run into because of this.
Narga is beginning to doubt everybody's sense of directions. And Narga does not like being lost. It is sticky and wet in this jungle.
I will say that everyone gets to level up after this session.
Yay!
Hey.
For surviving the dumbest shit.
For not getting killed by flail snails and the chimeras.
God. So here's the problem. The lesson should be don't split up the party. But now the lesson is we can split up the party if we're creative about survival and not really attached to the idea of said survival.
And really, everyone had a pretty good.
Chimeras out of the sky.
Yeah, we all actually had a pretty good day. I mean,
Narga did not.
Narga did not. That's true. That's true. But in the end, he got to eat a dryad, and that's all he really wanted out of the day.
Yeah, Narga still doesn't realize that the
Yeah, that's different things.
Sim is
Super fun.
not to correct you.
Yeah, I'm planning on super playing into this when we all meet up. He's like, I ate a dryad. Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're gonna be more of them.
Okay, so I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. As each group gets slightly lost.
and further apart. Now we're level 5. Now Narga has access to Fireball. I hope you all realize that.
Yeah.
He's actually not going to take it though. He's taking something else.
I hope everyone had fun.
I had.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And I hope Travis gets some pain meds so that
Yeah, I feel
mouth feels
better.
better.
Yes.
He's typing an inappropriate response.
And-
Damn it.
Yeah.
No fun.